Let's start with the first example. We have 5.8 raised to the log base 5.8 of 10 plus 1. Okay, so that's the whole exponent. Okay, I can split this up into two different exponents. The first exponent will have the log, and the second exponent will have the 1. Because the bases are the same, I can cancel out the log and just have 10 drop out. And then 5.8 to the first power is just 5.8. Multiply that by 10. My final answer is 58. Okay. For the next problem, this one is going to be a little more involved. I'm given 8 raised to the log base 2 of the cube root of 121 plus 1/3. So again, the 1/3 here is part of the exponent. So I can break this up into 2, make it easier. Ideally, I would like the 8 to have the same base as the 2 here. So it's easier to alter the 8 than the 2. So what we're going to do is rewrite the 8 as 2 cubed, and then we're going to raise that to the log base 2 of the cube root of 121. And then 8 to the 1/3 power is just 2. Okay, so I have an exponent to an exponent, so I'm going to have to multiply that, and I get 2 raised to 3 log 2. And the cube root of 121, I'll just leave it as that, times 2. The 3 in front will be the exponent of the cube root of 121. So if I have the cube root and then I cube it, those two are going to cancel, and so I'm going to be left with 121. Okay, it's good because now I can cancel out the 2's and the logs, so I'm left with 121 times 2, so my final answer is 242. Moving on, let's look at log base 1/2 4. So the log will be squared, and then it's all under the square root. But this one is a bit tough. I think it's better to rewrite it as, well, I guess we can have log base 1/2 of 4. And then we're squaring the log here. So this square is on the log, not on the 4. And then we're going to raise it to the 1/2 power. An exponent to an exponent, so like the 2 and the 1/2, those are going to cancel out. So this will be reduced to log base 1/2 of 4. And we have to think about, okay, what exponent will give 1/2 to equal 4? So it's probably better to rewrite this in terms of a common base. Okay, so obviously 2 makes sense here, and 2 will be to the negative x power, and 2 squared will be for 4. So negative x is 2, which gives us x is negative 2. So that's that answer. Okay, last one is way more involved. Let's see, we have 81 to the 1 over log base 5 of 3 plus 27 raised to the log base 9 of 36 plus 3 raised to the 4 over log base 7 of 9. We're going to take this term by term. So I want to first focus on 81 raised to the 1 over log base 5 of 3. Ideally, I would like to have 81 and 5 to be the same base, so the same number. Unfortunately, that does not look anywhere close. So I'm going to change the log base 5 to have log base 3, and then the 81, I'm going to rewrite it as 3 to an exponent. So 81 will be 3 to the 4th, and for log base 5 of 3, I'm going to use a change of base formula with base 3. So this whole denominator is change of base. Okay, now let's look at the next term. I have 27 and 9. Well, that's not quite the same. I'm going to choose to use the base 9 here. I think that's better. So 27 can be rewritten as 9 raised to the, let's see, 3 halves, right? Because 9 square root of 9 is 3, cube that is 27, and we're going to be raising that to the log base 9 of 36 power. Now for the last term, I don't have the same base. Okay. So like the 3 and the 7, they're not the same. So I'm going to choose to change the base 7 to base 3. So I'm going to need another change of base formula. So that would be log base 3 of 9 over log base 3 of 7. And now I'm a lot closer to finishing. So let's take this step by step. Log base 3 of 3 is just 1. So that's really 1 over log base 3 of 5. I can rewrite that as just log base 3 of 5. For the next term, I have an exponent to an exponent, so I'm going to multiply that. So we have 3 halves times log base 9 of 36. And for the last term, log base 3 of 9 is just 2. So that's 4 over 2, which is just 2. And then I'm going to bring the log base 3 of 7 on top. So that's going to be 3, and then 2 log base 3 of 7. Simplifying things, I get 3 raised to the 4 log 3, 5, because exponent to an exponent you multiply. And then the 3 halves here will be the exponent of the 36. And then this 2 will be the exponent for 7. All right. Okay, and then if you look at the first term, this 4 will be the exponent of 5. So the exponent would be log base 3 of 5 to the 4th. And because I have the 9 and the 9s here, those are going to cancel, and I'm going to be left with 36 to the 3 halves power. And the last term, 3's and the 3's are the same, so that cancels, and I'm left with 7 squared. Now, going back to the first term, I have 3 log 3, so that gets canceled. So I'm left with 5 to the 4th. 36 to 3 halves power, I do the square root of 36 is 6. Cube that is 216. 7 squared is 49. 5 to the 4th is 625. And 216 plus 49 is 265. I add these up and I get 890 is my final answer.